It is time, once again, to lock your doors, shut your windows, strap yourself into your favorite comfy chair, and tune out and tune into The Naked Zombie.
G'day and welcome for another episode of The Naked Zombie, the only radio show that actually has no taste whatsoever. Isn't that right, Liam?
It is.
Yeah, how are you, buddy?
At all. I'm good.
And we are doing the naked debate tonight. Look, I put it out there last night. Now, first off, before we get into anything else tonight, mate, last night we put up the Bellevue Homestead investigation. And we've had a lot of people. We've had a lot of people write into us and actually say how much they enjoyed it. And basically, for people who haven't heard the Bellevue Homes, what it is, the first part of it is us for about 3 minutes, and then there's about 18 minutes of John talking. Now, John's the owner of the house, and he is actually. And this is what I find very important. You got to know the history of the place before you even think about investigating. And we want to sort of, because it's over radio, we had to get as lot of information out as possible in a short period of time.
Yep.
So people had an understanding of where we were and who owned the house and all the rest of it. Then we had Thelma. I think she went for about 10 minutes, and Thelma told us about the ghost stories of the place, like the man with the hat and all the guy who drowned and everything on the property, and he got on the piss, fell off his horse and went for a swim and didn't come out.
Yep.
But then it's us two, basically, for the rest of the show. I think about 40 minutes of us running around doing the investigation, and it's quite surprising to have an investigation done as a radio podcast or radio show. It was really quite interesting once you sit back and listen to it, because it's sort of, look, I don't know, I tend to enjoy that. I sort of tend to enjoy the fact that we did it differently. It wasn't the visual aspect of it, it was more your perception or the audience's perception. That's what a lot of people said, and they said, oh, we'd love to be there, we'd love to go in and check this place out. It sounds you guys had a good, and John sounds lovely. So, yeah, and it was a fantastic night. So just a big shout out to Bellevue Homestead again, because look, it did take weeks. To put something like that together literally takes weeks. It's not just a matter of slapping everything together. You've got so much. I think we had about, I don't know, between everything, about 40 odd hours of audio footage I had to condense down into about an hour and a half. So yep. You can imagine the amount of work it takes to screw something down to that point where you got to try and get in the history, the stories and the investigation all in one without sounding like boring as batshit. But overall, it was good. We had a lot of fun, didn't we, buddy?
No, we did. It was awesome. And yeah, big shout out again to John, an absolute powerhouse of information as far as the history of the homestead went. And yeah, I mean, the hours and hours that we spent together as well, going through it in the dark, which was fantastic.
Mm-hmm. No, it was awesome. And just a quick apology from Wadsey. He still is having car problems. Look, Brisbane at the moment, especially around the Logan area and stuff like that, they've declared a disaster area due to all the flooding. We still have minor flooding around where we are, so we are still doing the radio show via the wonderful interweb. So you're speaking, isn't the technology wonderful, man? You can actually do this stuff nowadays. Like back when I was a boy. No, I'm kidding. I wouldn't have done it when I was a boy. But yeah.
I was going to say that bit hard to stretch the string in the cans between your place and mine. But.
It is, but it's working well. Oh, just to let you all know as well, we're having Geek Speak on next Monday night. The boys from Geek Speak will be doing an interview with them. They do some really, really cool stuff. I really enjoy what they do. Very, very, very entertaining. And another quick note I've got to go on to a late night talk show coming up on the 13th of February, which is going to be interesting. So I've been invited along to do this late night talk show. I'm starting to see a pattern forming here, mate. Today I found out I've been asked to go and do a big bikie show in Victoria. Now, I'll just go back a bit. Interviewed by Penthouse Australia. already done a tattoo show, got a bikie show to do. Do you think there's sort of a pattern forming here and involves boobies?
Yeah, it's starting to look a bit that way.
And people think I'm just a friggin' ratbag. That's all right. Oh, look, we got some fantastic emails. I'm just going to read out a couple of emails from people. Job sent us in a great email. Thanks for the great local paranormal show. Sick of listening to the Americans. Lol. Yeah, nice. We love the American shows too. No, we do. We support all radio shows. But thank you, Job. It's great to see that you've come on board, and you like the Naked Zombie, or I think is Wonderval. Wadsy sent in a couple of questions, as he always does, because he's a wealth of well, he's not a wealth of anything, really. He just likes to know stuff.
That's it. He's an inquisitive kid.
He is an inquisitive young fella. Listen, we had some really good questions come in tonight, and some of them are going to probably upset a few people as well. But like I say on the zombie, I couldn't give a rat's ass. I just don't care. I did get an email from someone. I don't know if anyone's read it on the post. It was quite funny. It went to along the lines of, I'm trying to remember, Brad, I think you should take the show more seriously and cut out the humour. And that was the email, and my response was, go F yourself. So, I really, oh God, I don't care. I was
going to say, we cut out the humour, we wouldn't have a great much left, would we?
No, that's the only thing we've got to rely on.
Putting out 2-minute sound bites.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, we have no personality, we have no talent, we've got to do something with the show, so we put the paranormal side of things on its ear and twist it around with a Q-tip. So, anyway, I'm going to start reading out the questions from the people who have sent in for the Naked Debate tonight. Now, I've got one here, I'm just bringing it up now. Now, I'm going to read it out, and look, folks, this is what people sent in, and look, I don't really care, I'll read them out, and I'd love to hear people's comments and views on this. But the first one comes from Mr. Herbert, who writes, for tonight's debate, could you talk about all these people that say that all spirits are evil? And then when they are asked to do a house investigation, they scare the shit out of people saying these spirits are evil and can possess you, and all this other shit. Then charge the earth to do a cleansing. I don't want to sound like a prick, but I have to have a look at Ghost TV in Australia, and have a look at them. They are prime examples. Now, to be honest with you, I don't know this mob from a bar of soap, to be honest with you. I did get on and check their Facebook page. Look, I don't know them. I'm not going to knock them at all. But in saying that, if that's what they are doing, and if any group is doing that, or any individual is doing that, I think they're an absolute muppet. How could you claim the simple fact that all spirits are evil? What a load of shit. How can that possibly be? So you're saying, and I'm going to get on my high horse here, and look, if the Ghost TV want to come on the show and they want to tell their side of the story, I'm all for that. I think it's great that they should, tell us what they do. And I'd love to get in a good debate with them about it and find out what their purpose is. I'm not scared of walking away from anything. I'm not saying they're actually doing this. I don't know, and this is from what I've just been hearing around the traps, and I'm sitting here smacking my hands together. I tend to do this when I get excited about something. Now, if this is the case, and this is where it comes in the viewpoint of also do with mediums and psychics, because they actually, now from what I gather, the lead guy there is a medium or psychic or something. I know a lot of really good mediums and psychics, but I do know the ones that are really good and true to form, they charge very, very little for their time, or they don't charge at all, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if anyone uses the scare factor to say that, everything is evil, you're going to be possessed and all the rest of it, and there are a lot of people out there who probably don't know better, who think this is the norm. Well, it's not the norm. Are you trying to tell me that a spirit of a child or a spirit of a dearly deceased loved one is evil? I'll tell you what, you have a real problem if you go around and telling people that, and then charging a lot of money to go and do this, to come into someone's house who may not know any better, who think this is the only way that this problem can be fixed, and charging a shitload of coin to walk around with your hand sticking out in the air going, oh, look at this, I'll cleanse the spirit. But bullshit. I call shenanigans. Do you call shenanigans?
I call double shenanigans.
Shenanigans!
Times infinity, I'd say.
Well, that's the thing, is, look, I know of most of what's around there within the, being Australian, of course, and dealing with, lots of different, we both get lots of different emails and stuff, mate, regarding this sort of thing, but from my understanding, this group they saying they did have a TV show coming out, didn't they, originally? What was the go there?
Yeah, well,
I think
originally the plan was that there was going to be a big TV show, then there was going to be contracts signed with a commercial station, and then it went quiet for a bit, and now it looks as if it's just turned into a bit of a YouTube clip show, going out and chasing demonic creatures and evil spirits, from what I can best figure from it. So, but I mean, like you said too, I mean, there are a lot of very good psychics and mediums out there that don't charge the world, and go out there in the hopes of being able to help people, and they, of people, don't have YouTube channels, putting it all up for other people's entertainment after they've just charged the client a fortune. So,
well, this is the thing. Like I said, I think I mentioned this once before. When I was out investigating, like investigating type thing, I did notice that for some reason quite often not, and other investigators would know this, when they go out, they're not always the first ones there. They could have someone else who's coming before them, and they do a different way of doing things, which is fine. But I had this one case where this bloke was literally throwing himself on the floor, screaming he was being possessed by demons in the infant's bedroom.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what gives them the right to do that? I'm not saying it was this group, I'm saying this is somebody else. They're not in Brisbane, but this guy was throwing himself on the floor in front of these people who called it in, because there was some funny stuff going on, but a lot of it was emotional, a lot of it was just stuff that, it was tense times, if you know what I mean, and that builds a lot of anxiety, and sometimes people will place that on they place a lot of anxiety on the paranormal because they can't explain it. It could just mean that they're doing extra long hours at work, or they're overtired, or they're not having enough vitamins, and all this other basic stuff that they seem to just bypass and go straight to the paranormal. And this is where some people see that as cha-ching, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's go and screw these poor people to the wall and get as much coin out of them as possible. Now, like I said, I don't know for a fact if this, and I'm not saying they are, and I'm not saying they're not, right? And I'm being a bit of a wuss about this in that sense, that I haven't spoken to these people. I haven't had them on the show. I can't say to them, what you're doing is wrong, when I know 110% that is correct. But in saying that, if groups and that are doing this, and I'm going to take a leaf out of Darren Hinch's, the great Australian broadcaster. Shame, shame, shame. You can't go around doing that if that's the case. But, Mr. Herbert, thank you for the question. But what I'm going to do is, before I get too carried away with this prime example of shenanigans, if it is, I want to investigate that a bit further and find out more information. I will contact them. Or myself or Liam will contact them, see if we can get them on the show and see if they can explain to us the process that they do. Now, it's their decision whether they come on the show or not, but I'd be very curious to see their response to these sort of claims, and take it from there. So we're going to leave that one go tonight at this stage, and I just don't go calling people out if I don't have all the information. I think it's the wrong thing to do. I've heard a lot of stories, but stories are hearsay in a lot of sense of the word. So, do you agree with me on that one?
I think from that angle, we'll try and dig and find out a bit more info. But I was just going to say, just quickly, sort of as an additional on top of that, what is it with this? It only seems to be the last 6 months, but this belief that there are all of these demons out there all of a sudden and evil spirits, because that seems to have become quite a common occurrence in the paranormal world of late. This concept that everything is evil and that everything's possessed and demonic, and I don't know where it's come from, but
TV.
Yeah, it's really taken a hold.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's posts, it's blogs, it's people's perception, and TV. That's my viewpoint on it. Because seriously, I can't justify that. Everything's evil, everything's demonic, and all this other crap that some people are going on with at the moment. And I just think it's a load of horse shit, to be honest with you, because, look, unfortunately, I'm rubbing my eyes here because it is late. Unfortunately, when you see a lot of TV shows and every episode one of the presenters is getting possessed by something, people's perception, it makes great TV, but whether or not it's true or not, this is the thing. You got to realise that when you produce, and I have produced a TV series, or two actually, one in New Zealand, one here in Australia. They're only online stuff, but but that's what they were. And I found it very hard, and that's why I had a very short lifespan, because I couldn't exaggerate very well in that sense, if you know what I mean. I can't, because it's just something I cannot do.
You are doomed to tell the truth.
I cannot act that good, if you know what I mean. In saying that, there are a lot of small production shows coming out now that are based on reality and truth, which is great. But I guess when you have someone throwing big wads of cash at you, it's like, okay. How do you want me to throw myself on the floor today? Or how far do you want me to roll my eyes back today? And this is a sad factor of it. It is entertainment, and that's what it is. There's always a bit of truth in a lie, but it depends how big the lie is, vice versa, and all the rest of it. So people know what I'm talking about and understand about these things. It is hard when you do that type of thing, and I guess that's why I've sort of flickered over doing radio for the last few years, because it's easier to communicate that across. It was like our investigation of Bellevue Homes we put on the radio show. You heard what it was. There was people weren't there. They didn't know what it was like or what happened. We can only share our experiences. And it was cut in such a way where it's actually what happened on the night. It was all in time, if you know what I mean. It was like first part, John, Thelma, and us running around for about 6 hours, if you know what I mean. Condensed all down to an hour and 20 minutes, I think it was. So otherwise it'd be one of those boring bucket of shit you'd ever want to listen to. It's people's perception, no one wants to hear us walking around, footsteps and all the rest of the shit for 6 hours. They want to hear what we're doing. We're trying to explain what we're doing. We don't always get it right. We're not perfect, but that's what it is. The field is not perfect. The whole paranormal field is nowhere near perfect. And I doubt it ever will be perfect, but it's people who get out there and try and do it. But the trouble is, what is right and what is the wrong way? This is the problem that I'm facing at the moment within myself in the field. Is that what we're doing, our style of doing a paranormal-based radio show, is that the right style? Our style is totally different to, say, the Ghosts of Oz or to the Paranormal Guide, which are fantastic, and I love those guide shows. It's totally different to the overseas shows. And I love listening to the overseas shows. I get a big kick out of listening to what other people are doing and stuff like that. I don't place any emphasis on, hey, the Naked Zombie's #1. It's not. It's far from the best radio show out there. We know that, but we're happy with what it is. So it's, are we doing it right? Are we doing it wrong? At the end of the day, I don't really give a rat's ass, because we're having fun with what we're doing. And I think people are missing out on that fun aspect of doing the paranormal. It seemed to have taken a bit of a
very serious turn. So many groups now are taking it so seriously that I think, in a lot of a lot of ways, they're actually missing the point. They're missing what they're actually out there to do, because they're trying to do it so perfectly, or they're trying to emulate, this sort of famous TV group or that famous TV group. So
I mean, you've got to be an individual, no matter what you do in this field. You've got to be your own entity. You've got to be your own personality. I cannot be, say, like a Dave Schrader from Dark. I can't. There's no way. The man's a frigging god in my eyes. You got guys like from Coast to Coast. What's his name? Oh God.
You put me on the spot now.
I have put you on the spot. Isn't it terrible? It's late at night. I'm trying to guys like Nori or something. You got to pay to listen to his shows. You know what I mean? But they're fantastic. I've had to listen to a couple of them, and they're really, really well done. But these are professional studios. Mate, we work from a cardboard box, in a nutshell. We have nice equipment, but we still work from a cardboard box. So, and that's the thing, and that's the way we do it. Right or wrong, don't know. But like I said, Mr. Herbert, we will look into this side of it for you. I got to give them the opportunity to voice their opinions and explain to, I guess, the people who are questioning the way they are doing things. First, before I can make a judgment on myself. But people are going to make their own judgments for themselves, and if they are doing what people say they're doing, then no, I don't agree with that at all. I think it's wrong. But if they're not, if the information is not coming through correctly, and that's perception they're not doing that, then this is their idle opportunity to say, hey, no, we're not actually doing that. That's just yada yada yada. So, and that's what I've got to give them benefit of the doubt at this stage until we actually get them on the show and ask them, what are you guys actually doing? So, if they don't want to come on, I can't make them. That's the thing. I can't make them. So it's just interesting to see what happens on that side of things. And they might listen to this and give me a big slanderous hate mail over it, but I've had few of those in my time. What the hell was that? Did you drop something?
That's my cat running up the screen of the window. See?
Yes, yeah, possessed.
It's so awesome. Even the cats want to get on as well and have a chat.
Mate, is a cat possessed?
No, he's just mental.
Anyway, listen, I'd just like to say a big shout out to our new Naked Zombie family, army, that's come on board. It's great guns. People are really doing a wonderful job getting the word about the Naked Zombie out there. So thank you to everyone who takes the time to listen to the show and give us some feedback, good or bad, doesn't matter. That's what we're here for. We are what we are and nothing more. Okay, now I have another question from our good mate and long-time listener of the Naked Zombie, Mr. David Snow. First things first, David Snow has already put his hand out to come out to Slaughter Falls with us. So if you haven't listened to the show, listen to this one, but we did mention it a couple of nights ago. We're going to get a group together of Naked Zombie listeners, go out to Slaughter Falls and experience all the weird crap that goes on out there, which should be an interesting night, to say the least. We're going to try and book that in the next couple of weeks. Look, and we're not going to charge you for it. We're not going to say, hey, it's going to cost you a couple of... No, you just got to get yourselves out there. Bring your own tent, bring your own food, and away we go for the night. Bring your own equipment, and we'll have fun, all of us together, and do a bit of exploring and check it out. It's a public place. Anyone can go out there, so it should be interesting. Anyway, David Snow writes... I better put on my radio voice here. Hi Brad, thanks for a question, topic and experience for Naked Debate. When dealing with the paranormal, the impossible seems to become possible. And when we learn from these experiences when my brother-in-law passed, at his funeral we played the Queen song, I Want to Ride My Bike. The song starts with push bike bells. 3 weeks after his passing, we were woken from a sound sleep by the sound of 2 loud dings from the push bike bell. 3 days later, I heard 2 more bell dings from the corner of the room, made his presence felt. So basically in his bedroom, the bells ringing again. Have you heard or experienced anything like this? How does something that has nothing except, I guess, energy, duplicated such sounds as where any theories, questions, do intelligent spirits make footsteps like residual hauntings and stuff like that? So basically he's asking a question that, would a spirit actually make themselves known? Besides that, we've all heard of the phone calls, like the phone calls from the dead, where and someone's passed, then you get like, for some reason you get a phone call and you pick it up and say it's such and such there, and it's who is it? No, it's such. Oh yeah, no. Then you go and let the person know, oh, such and such is on the phone, and they said no, they passed away a couple of weeks ago, and they go to the phone and sometimes there's nothing there. But I personally have never experienced. I've experienced footsteps. I've experienced a lot of weird shit, but I don't think I've actually experienced anything to do with that type of thing to let me know. Now, I'll tell you a quick story, and then Liam, I'll get you to jump in.
Yep.
When my nana passed, my dad's grandmother, I was only an infant when she died, but Dad couldn't go to the funeral, and he was really quite upset about it. And he never forgets this story. Anyway, he's lying in the caravan. I think this is during the floods and that, because, the 74 floods. And he had the sensation of someone stroking his hair, saying, it's okay, I understand, type thing. And he swears to black and blue it was Nana. His Nana, and my great Nana. Because she basically raised him in a lot of ways. So he's had that experience. Haven't had, like someone sitting on the edge of the bed that I've known or anything like that. I've never had that experience. But yes, mate, there has been reported upon case upon case upon case of these sort of events happening, where coins have fallen out of midair, if you know what I mean. All this stuff that someone is attached to a certain object. Like the classic example is, I know of a story of a guitar. There was someone that I had on the show a long time ago, and I forget the name, but I'll try and remember it later on, that his mate had a brother, this guy, he's got a friend, and his friend's brother passed away, but he always played his guitar.
Yeah.
And the room would be closed, like this kid's bedroom would be closed, and every now and then they could hear the guitar playing in the closed bedroom. So when they go in there, the guitar's not, it's locked away and everything like that, but this happened quite often, and he actually got to experience this phenomena for himself. They were sitting down for tea one night, next minute this guitar music started to be playing from this bedroom, and they just took it as normal. His perception was that was normal. That was like, oh yeah, and he's like, where's that music coming from? Oh yeah, it's my brother passed away and he played the guitar, and this is how he tells us he's still around, and that he's not far away. So that's a beautiful story. And how could that be deemed as being demonic or evil or anything like that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm getting back off track now. But that's that whole perception of that. Your opinion on that, Liam?
Well, I guess it raises sort of a couple of interesting questions as well, and I guess it harps back to that whole concept. And I'm a bit old school. The recorded versus interactive, or as it's sort of called now, the intelligent versus residual. Is it more the person who's experiencing it? Is it their perception that it's somebody making contact, and it's interactive or intelligent, or could it just be a recorded residual kind of thing replaying itself over and over?
Well, that's the thing. We really don't know, do we? It's the same time as we were at Bellevue Homestead. We're both sitting there going, do you hear that? We could hear footsteps walking up and down the friggin' hallway, and we're the only two in there, and we were stationary. So it's like, that's pretty cool. But, when you have something who rings bells, that's a pretty strong event when you think about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very clear cut.
A bell ring, like a push bike bell ringing. Not like dong dong, like a ring ring type thing coming from the room. So I'd love to hear other people's stories, and as you know, we're going to read out viewers' stories and stuff like that on a special show. So if you have stories like that you wish to share with us, or you have thoughts on anything we say and we bring up tonight, please email us. We'll read it out. We'll get that information out there for you. So I thought that made a very interesting subject. Any other thoughts on that, big boy?
Yeah, no, I think it's fantastic too. I mean, I've experienced a lot of very weird stuff before. Nothing that I thought was, was sort of particularly intelligent or interactive, but on occasion, weird sounds like that. Especially, the sound of, I was in a place where had been locked up, and one night heard the sound of a tennis ball being bounced against a wall repeatedly in an area where there was nobody. But I mean, that would have been the activity that the prisoners who were locked up in that prison would have done every day to pass the boredom, bouncing a tennis ball against a wall. But the sound was as clear as day, for 5 or 10 minutes. So, yeah, I mean, it does happen, but it makes you question, like what's what's causing it to happen, and whether it is interactive or it's some kind of intelligent haunting, or whether it's just a residual sound replaying itself over and over.
Mm-hmm. No, look, I agree, and we want to hear more stories like this. So if you have stories out there and you wish to share it on the show, please send it in. We'll read it out. We'll get people's thoughts and perceptions of it, because we love to hear from you guys. I mean, you're the whole reason why we do this, because we love listening to what you guys have to say and the information you put forward to us. Isn't that right,
Yep.
Big Boy?
It is. So, yeah.
Actually, I've got a very bloody Wadsy. He always asks the tough questions. I mean, they were tough questions, but these are like oddly tough. Wadsy's got a couple for us, because he always sends them in to us, because he's just a dude. He says, "Have a great show, guys. Can you please explain the difference between a zombie and the undead?" Hey?
Asking the big questions.
Big questions is Wadsy. That's our mate Wadsy. Because if you don't know Wadsy is, boys and girls out there, Wadsy is one of the co-hosts of the show. Now, his car's buggered. He can't get anywhere. We're in a bad spot at the moment with all the crappy weather and shit happening all over the place in Brisbane at the moment. So it's all like, So the poor bugger can't make it in. But he always asks, even when he's doing the show with us, he always comes up with these questions, doesn't he?
He does.
He must spend like a week just thinking about them just to stump us. I'm going to let you handle this one, then I'll come in with my opinion. How's that sound?
Okay.
And go.
Okay, so I guess the difference between a zombie and undead, I mean, I guess if you were to look at undead as being something like a vampire.
Yes, that's my thoughts.
So that's my thoughts exactly. So whereas a zombie has died but has become sort of reanimated somehow, but doesn't have that mental faculty that it used to, so it's just more sort of an instinctive primal urge that's driving it.
Just to sort of to feed, basically, and all the rest of it. So yeah, exactly the same thoughts, mate. Look,
eating poo for a zombie, and and have an intellectual conversation for a vampire. So
that's I basically that's all I've got as well. But there's so many different things. Like a lot of people's perception of zombies. If you're talking back to like the original movies and stuff like that, when the zombies and the Night of the Living Dead and all the rest of it, slow moving, lethargic, one purpose in mind was just to undying hunger. The hunger never goes away. It stops the pain. That's the thing. Eating brain stops the pain, basically. And that's why they munch down. So you got all these different aspects. Then the zombies learned how to run, which was a real bitch for the people who couldn't run very fast. You know what I mean? So then they could actually really get along the motor. So zombies, either it's from like some sort of space friggin' contamination that comes down and reanimates dead tissue and a zombie. That's if you ever seen the old horror movies, like the Reanimator and stuff like that, where the guy pumps in this green goo into dead tissue and it springs back to life, so to speak. And that was freaking crack up. Jeez, they were terrible movies, but I loved them. But then you've got as they progress, and then it's from like some sort of disease or something like that. But there's sort of a grey area now, isn't there? Because some of the zombies aren't dead to start off with. They just have this I Am Legend, where you have this zombie type character who lives in these hives and dark buildings and stuff like that, and then they're sort of not, they'll munch down on you, but they're not. They're not dead.
We've taken a whole new turn now. And I guess it's in a way of trying to bring, I guess, a more realistic spin to it on something that could possibly happen. But even from like 28 days and 28 days later, where it's like people being infected with the rage virus and
so they're not technically zombies, are they? They are they're not zombies as in the traditional zombie.
No, well, they're still alive and can be killed, but
Yeah.
they're infected with sort of some incurable kind of disease or virus that turns them mutant kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, that's right, and this is the thing. So there are different levels of the old zombie theory, as there were, and the undead, in my viewpoint, is something that cannot die, unless you pump it full of something. Like say vampires. To me, that's the undead. They stake through the heart or exposure to sunlight and all the rest of the myths and lore that go with the vampire side of thing. And I'd really love to do is get an actual. I know this doesn't as silly as it sounds. There are people who are practicing vampires, if you know what I mean, that they drink human blood. Everyone who's in the field or heard this would know this. There is people who practice the art of vampirism, and I would love to get someone on the show who practices so they can educate us on their lifestyle. I mean, wouldn't that be fascinating? I mean, this is what I get excited. I'd love to get someone who is a practicing warlock or witch on the show to explain their lifestyle and stuff like that. There's people's perception in a lot of ways are only this one bubble, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But outside this bubble, there's lots of other little bubbles. I'm trying to explain this in chemistry terms. It's that side of things. So I'd be really keen to see how, someone who'd know a bit more about them than us. We don't have all the answers. Good. I get all my education from TV. No, I don't. I don't.
Old Leonard Nimoy and Ripley, believe it or not.
Oh, God. Yes, and or William Shatner's, what is it? What's his latest one out now? Weird or What? Or something
Weird
like
or
that.
What? Yeah.
Yeah. So that was from Wadsy. Now we've got another one from Wadsy here. I'm just trying to track it down now on the thing. God, I've got so many emails that just popped up out of nowhere. Look, and if you do leave us a question and we don't read it, don't stress. There'll be other shows and we will get. And okay, now Peter again writes into us and it's gone. I think he might have changed his mind and thought, no, that's a dumbass question. Oh no, here it is. Wadsy never has dumb. Okay, another question. Some people say that the smell. Okay, let me start that again. Some people say they smell. Oh God, Wadsy, learn to spell. Some people say they smell a funny smell with paranormal activity. Is this smell significant to the gender or the strength of paranormal activity? I'm going to jump into this one quickly. What there are in the atmosphere is what's called particulates. Now, particulates are absorbed into timber, some metals, clothing, anything with a porous surface. I'm going all sciencey here.
Yeah.
Now, these particulates also carry certain odours. It's like if you walk into a room that's been smoked in a lot, you'll smell the smoke because it's seeped into the surrounding environment and it'll be there for decades. Some people still realise that when they go on an investigation, they shouldn't be wearing any sort of deodorant or perfume, because if you go into a room then you leave, that smell will continue to flow through. It'll linger through the environment for some time. Then someone else would walk in and go, "Oh, do you smell that? I smell a scent of a woman," type thing. And I heard there was a woman here. Yes, there was, about 10 minutes before you. Not a dead one, but a live one who decided to pump on the makeup and the smelly stuff. And blokes are a prime example doing that too. The old friggin' lynx thing happening. So smells can be contributed. Now, what I find interesting is on an investigation, when you have these smells and stuff like that in a certain environment, it's like the night Bellevue Homestead again. We were standing there and all of a sudden we could smell this burning smell, couldn't we?
Yeah.
Something was burning, but the smell wasn't there originally. And we're looking around at light sockets, we're looking at all sorts of stuff to see if nothing was catching on fire. But all of a sudden, out of nowhere, there was this real pungent smell of something burning. But as soon as it came, it went. That's when it makes it interesting. So, yes, some smells have been contributed to certain amounts of paranormal activity, whether or not, and it's such a grey area, unfortunately, especially in environments. If you look somewhere like the Queen Mary and stuff like that, when you have mass lot of people going through to investigations, they all carry a certain amount of smell, in a nutshell, which will, it will come off their body, it will float in the atmosphere, it will attach to certain things, and the particulates in this sort of atmosphere will then absorb into the surrounding areas, for a certain time, unless it's continuously done. You really have to look into it. You really have to get really all geeky, scientific-y, if you want to sort of work out if the smells just from a lingering effect of something that's happened in the same place over and over and over again, and it penetrates the environment, or it's a smell that is only just happened when someone's walked in or out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good, I'm a wealth of knowledge, aren't I, sometimes?
Look at that.
Hey?
Although I have found when we've done moonlight tours at South Brisbane, generally if you get a very strong smell of pollen,
Yep.
it generally means that if you take photos, the orbs. I have
Orbs.
found that.
Orbs. Orbs smell, do they?
They do. They
I've
smell
got
like pollen.
I got a smelly orb. Oh. There's a bit of it. No one didn't get that. Yes, we do get a lot of photos of orbs on the moonlight tours, and usually it's pollen because it's just that time of the year. Yeah, lovely. Lovely. Listen, just quickly, I just want to get on my high horse again. Can I get on my high horse?
You can.
Can I? No,
I'll get you a step ladder.
No, I don't need one, mate. I'm 6'2". I don't need a step ladder. What it is, I have a interesting thing. Look, I've been getting a few emails about the tours of late, right? And I'm not going to say too much about it, but I am going to say the simple fact is that we have been trying endlessly to get into a certain prison. And unfortunately, every step we take, we seem to get blocked. Correct?
That's very correct.
Now, and unfortunately, this person, who will name Anonymous, Cameron Jackson, has basically, through his deed of license, has to allow fair and equitable access to the prison so they can do tours, which is fine. Now, it has been how long now?
Oh, what are we up to? About over 2 months now.
2 months? We have still not received any information regarding getting access or doing tours, but what we have been told is that there is a fee involved, quite a large fee for us to go. The point being is that this fee we cannot afford, and we're not going to pay it, for the simple reason is that any money that we make from doing this prison, guess where it goes? You tell them, Liam.
Straight back into the commercial operator's pocket. So not a cent of it goes back to the prison. So which is absolutely disgraceful.
And also the money that we were going to make, where was that going to go, Liam?
Straight to the Bogoro Jail Historical Society. So every cent of which would have been rolled into the prison and further.
Yeah. So basically, what we're trying to say is that anything that we would have made, we wouldn't have kept. We were going to donate it back to keep the upkeep, to keep the information up, to keep the people going through, and it hasn't happened as yet. Now, we're going to have to wait a little while now before we can do anything, and it's in the hands of other people who are looking into it. So fingers crossed for the Naked Zombie, that the Naked Zombie tours will eventually kick off on that side of things. But that's not to say we aren't doing other things with the tours, is it, buddy?
That's right. So just because we can't have one site doesn't mean that we can't have a few more.
That's right. So very shortly it will be released. What we're doing. Yes, I love it. And I have my evil bobblehead of Sheldon Cooper here. off the Big Bang Theory. He's nodding up and down, going, "Yes, Brad, you are correct." So that's happening. So look, I've been getting a lot of emails from people saying, "Look, we can't wait till the tour starts. What's happening?" And that's basically what happened. We are just waiting on third parties now to solve a few issues for us, so we can get these up and going, and we can start spending some good quality time with people who love history and love all the information that we wish to give them.
That's right. So yeah, we'll be out hitting the streets very soon.
And I'll be wearing my lovely hobo costume, so people don't know it's actually me. Now I'm infamous and in trouble.
Yeah.
Anyway,
dressed as an old lady.
Oh, what do you mean? I am an old lady. So there you go. So that's what's happening, folks. We are going to be doing that. So that information is that, and whatever we've told you tonight is fine. We can say that, can't we?
We can.
Because it's the truth. That's what's happening. So I personally like to thank the Queensland government for really stuffing it up for us. Thank you. Thank you. Can I say that?
Yeah, you can say that.
Okay, that's fine then. So thank you. Thank you. So we will get through all the red tape and everything soon anyway. So have you got anything else you want to bring up on tonight's show, my friend, of many years?
No, I don't think I do. I think we've kicked some good topics around tonight. It's been excellent.
We have, and it has nearly been an hour actually. So we'll just go through a few bits and pieces with you all now quickly. Just to let you know that Monday night, yes, we're having Geek Speak on. I will be on the late night show coming up on the 13th on the Big Television. So I wonder how that's going to go. Also, I've got an interview coming up on this weekend, I think, in Ace Comics in Brisbane. I've got to go there for an event with the boys from Geek Speak, of course, because we're good friends. Also, we got the Victorian bike show coming up in September. I think September, October. But listen,
I was going to say, how is that going to run in Victoria? Are the Victoria allowed to have bikies these days?
I don't know. But isn't it weird that we actually have friends who ride big Harleys and covered in tattoos and all the rest of it? That's awesome, dude. We have such a vast...
very awesome.
We have such a vast range of people we deal with, isn't it? From the super nerdy geeky to the big, badass, lovely guys, if you know what I mean.
From ballerinas to bikies and beyond. There you go. So we are a radio show for all, aren't we? Hey? We are.
Hey?
We love everyone.
We love everyone.
Everybody aboard.
And Wadsy loves them in a special way. The only way that Wadsy can. I can say this because he never listens to the show. Did you know that?
I do.
Wadsy
so
never
we can say whatever we want.
Yeah, we can say that. What else can we say about Wadsy? Wadsy. I got nothing. I've got absolutely nothing.
Here's your one perfect opportunity, and you've got nothing to say.
I've got nothing to say about Wadsy. Oh, this sucks ass. Anyway, so we are still looking for that certain co-host to join the show. To do with all things geeky, to movies, to yada yada, and all the rest of it. But we're also going to try and organise the next couple of months, have a movie night. We're going to approach one of the cinemas here in town. We're going to try and get some tickets, and we're going to put it out there. Come and meet us. First 10 people get in for free or something like that. When a really good movie comes out, that we'll all enjoy. So we're going to start doing more and more stuff like that with each other and with our audiences, and hopefully spend a bit more time. I try and answer all the emails. I try and get through everything and all the messages. I do spend a bit of time doing it. And your cat's playing with your keyboard again, isn't he?
No, he's outside. He's jumping on the window.
All right, yeah. Any excuse, yeah, here, Mr. Tiddles. So we've got lots of stuff coming. Slaughter Falls is coming up, of course. And if you want to leave us some interesting stories or emails or questions or whatever, look, feel free to contact us. We're not that big that we don't respond.
That's right.
Bum, bum, bum. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, it's just quickly, that really pisses me off no end.
What?
Pisses... No, not me, really pisses me in just to the tilt when someone becomes in this field that they think they become so big that they couldn't be bothered responding to the people that make them big.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I know they'd have a shitload of information come through them all the time, probably upon the thousands. There are people out there you can pay to do that for you. If you're making gazillion dollars a year and all this other shit, I'm surely someone can at least courtesy respond, say, thank you, received your email, yada, 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 and whatnot. So that's why I love the fact we've only got 3 listeners. It makes it very, and we're 2 of them.
Yeah. so I write you and you write back to me.
Yeah, that's something like that. But that does, mate. That really friggin' gets my goat. You know what I mean? And latest thing also, just quickly, we're meant to be stopping the show, but I can't help myself. Another thing that I've been informed about is that, Paranormal State.
Yep.
Well, there's a company out there that's been saying, the Paranormal State guys have been doing these, events, if you know what I mean. So all these people are forking out all this money and then they cancel them at the last minute. I know Ryan Bull's been sick, but this has been going on for the last few months, and turns out when people go to the motel or something like that, oh no, there's no event here and stuff like that. So that'd be interesting. If anyone knows any more information about it than I do, this is probably old news, please let me know what's actually happening, because if that's the case, that sucks ass and that's naughty. If you say you're going to do something, well, hopefully you're going to do it. People have paid the fan money and the accommodation and the transport and all this other shit. A lot of people don't have a lot of money out there, and they look forward to these things. They do, don't they?
They do. I mean, it's the equivalent of driving to Perth from Brisbane for an event and getting there and finding out that nothing's happening.
Yeah, that's right. So this is a thing. So I don't know this, but interested to see if anyone's got if anyone's got any cool information or something like that they want to share with us, please do. And I think that's the end of tonight's show, my friend.
I think it might be.
I think I've waffled on enough now for the last hour. What do you think?
Oh, yeah, maybe. We'll probably put in another hour or so.
Yeah, probably an hour or so next week. Anyway, so don't forget, lots of cool stuff coming up on the Naked Zombie. And don't forget the fan site, the Facebook fan site, which is www.facebook.com/The Zombie Radio, which is nice and easy. So you look for The Zombie Radio, or just type in Naked Zombie Radio up in the search page if you're looking for us, the fan site. And it's also, there's a link on the website as well that you can hit that likey button. And every time you hit that like button, another Justin Bieber fan dies.
We're going to be swamped with fans now. and hate mail.
And hate mail at
the same time.
I saw a One Direction fan gets run over by a bus.
As well as Justin Bieber dying.
Oh, look, seriously, dude, I have no love for some of the music today. But I must say, I watched American Idol tonight for the first time.
Yeah.
And Nicki Minaj is a hottie. And why is it that some people on there should not go on there? And then when they're told they're crap, they get upset. If you can't sing, dude, seriously. Well, your parents being the ones going out saying, yeah, that's awesome, you should be an American Idol. And they go, oh, I shot the sheriff, and I did not, where am I? I'm lost, and I taste like grape. And they think that's friggin' next Pavarotti. So, yeah, if you can't sing, don't do it. That's my advice. Is that good advice?
Although we wouldn't get all those lead-up shows where we get to laugh at everybody singing crap, so
I suppose they do make
it fills 3 or 4 more episodes, I guess.
But that's the thing, mate. I sort of cringe and I giggle at the same time. If you know what I'm going, oh no, you know how you feel embarrassed for them, but you can't. It's like watching. It's watching like something getting hit by a bus. You got to look though. You don't want to. It's wrong. You know what I mean? It's that whole Anyway, so we've been waffling on enough tonight. And listen, thank you everyone who's taken the time to tune into the Naked Zombie and get in contact with us and all the rest of it. Thank you so much. I think you're friggin' rock stars. Liam, in closing, is there anything you want to continue on with, mate?
Just share the love. So if you know anyone out there who would love to listen to the Zombie and the crap that we go on with, by all means pass it on and get them to hit that like button.
It's definitely crap. I never said it was good crap, but it's crap.
It's high quality crap.
it's like yeah, it's just crap. Come on, just face it. Anyway, listen, folks, thank you so much for joining us on the show tonight. And like I say each week on the show in some form or another, have a good night, have a safe night. And if you're out doing something naughty in public, don't let the police catch you. I'm Brad Scott, and you have been listening to... I'm waiting for you to come in there, Liam.
Then Naked Zombie.
Yeah, the Naked Zombie. Jeez, God, you want a written invitation. All right, good night all. We'll see you all next week. See ya. Bye.
See ya.